Dire Straits, they're one of the most iconic British groups of all time, that magical combination of breathtakingly good songs performed by really skilled instrumentalists. If you don't know the full history of the band, then I actually even just made a documentary, which is available to watch now, featuring John Illsley, bassist and founding band member. More information in the description below. But you know this one. Sultans of Swing was where it all began.
Get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, south of the river you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie double 4 time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring.
Written sometime in 1977, the first version of the song was composed on a National steel guitar in an open tuning, the very same guitar featured on the cover of Brothers in Arms, but it wasn't until Mr. Knopfler acquired a special new friend that it all came together. In an interview, Mark Knopfler said, "I thought it was dull, but as soon as I bought my first Strat in 1977, the whole thing changed, though the lyrics remained the same. It just came alive as soon as I played it on that 61 Strat, which remained my main guitar for many years, and was basically the only thing I played on the first album, and the new chord changes just presented themselves and fell into place." Yes, it did. Mark Knopfler was blues obsessed. Growing up, Blind Willie McTell, Lonnie Johnson, B.B. King. Another profound influence was Chet Atkins, Mr. Guitar himself, the pioneer of what would become known as the Nashville Sound. And then, of course, Bob Dylan, the Shadows, the Everly Brothers, Elvis, Duane Eddy. It's all there in the mix. Growing up, he got his first electric guitar but couldn't afford an amp, so he just started playing fingerstyle, developing his own style by borrowing friends' acoustics and playing folk and blues clubs with his friend and mentor Steve Phillips. These are not easy songs. Once you try and learn them, you realise just how technically complex and layered they are. So we're in 4/4, double 4 time, with a tempo of 149 BPM. The key is D minor, and you'll notice in the original how the lead guitar is almost a second vocalist. Each line of Mark's vocals is matched with its own unique line, a call and response. The verse progression in Sultans of Swing is just a classic descending pattern: D minor, C, B flat, A major. Then for the chorus, it shifts to F, C, and then B flat. It's simple on the surface, but it just creates this really satisfying movement. This whole structure is based on something called the Andalusian cadence, which is very common in flamenco and Spanish music, and it gives the song an eclectic flair. Now, it's not quite Stairway, but you might have noticed it's also longer than your average hit single at 5 minutes 46. The BBC refused to play it when it came out. The live version would often reach the 10-minute mark with a host of elongated licks, and if you've not heard the Alchemy version, then you're in for a treat.
Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces coming in out of the rain to hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they're blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south London town.
Now, Mark Knopfler gets a lot of praise as a guitarist, but I think not nearly enough is said about what an accomplished lyricist he is. He has this unique, economical command of language. Sultans beautifully paints a portrait of the tension between different musical eras, as well as a tribute to the millions of working bands out there who aren't doing it for fame and fortune, but they just love playing together for the thrill of it. Mark Knopfler was inspired to write the song after going for a pint in a practically empty pub in Deptford in the borough of Lewisham, southeast London, way on down south, and he watched the band play to a small, uninterested audience and was tickled by their grandiose band name. He recalled when the guys said, "Thank you very much, we are the Sultans of Swing." There was something really funny about it to me because Sultans, they absolutely weren't. You know, they were rather tired little blokes in pullovers. And it's quite unusual to have a song written in the second person. You get a shiver in the dark. You feel all right when you hear the music ring. You step inside. It allows the writer to place the reader or listener within a character's actions and thoughts, and it can make it feel like it's happening to you, giving it this extra feeling of intimacy or sense of urgency. And it gives the lyrics layers. The writer could be talking to you, the listener, but they could also be addressing themselves or even another character. It would feel quite different in first person.
I get a shiver in the dark, it's a-raining in the park, but meantime, south of the river, I stop and I hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie double 4 time. I feel alright when I hear the music ring.
Or even third person, which kind of works but adds an extra syllable to certain lines, and so it's not as easy to sing.
He gets a shiver in the dark, it's a-raining in the park, but meantime, south of the river, he stops and he holds everything. A band is blowing Dixie double 4 time. He feels alright when he hears the music ring.
So the band themselves are richly drawn characters. Guitar George, the jazz guitarist with a cheap model who doesn't want to make it cry or sing. Harry's gruffly proud statement that he's doing all right from his day job, so doesn't need to make money from music. He just saves it up for Friday night.
Check out Guitar George. He knows all the chords. Mind it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. Yes and no guitar is all he can afford when he gets up under the lights to play his thing.
Knopfler's vocal style is so hard to replicate. He's very modest about his abilities, saying he only took on vocal duties as no one else could do it, and he never considered himself much of a singer, but I've always loved just how expressive his voice is. It's full of these wonderful rough edges, and it's in the same way as, Bob Dylan with his raspy bluesy vocal. Kindred spirits, those two. Bob was in the audience at their LA Roxy show, and he dug the sound so much that he invited Mark to come and work on his new album, Slow Train Coming. And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene.
He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up for Friday night with the Sultans. With the Sultans.
1977 was quite the year for music, and it was also the peak of vinyl sales in the USA. Pink Floyd released Animals, Clapton released Slow Hand, there was Rumours, Low by David Bowie, and Exodus by Bob Marley. But it was also the year of punk. Debuts from Sex Pistols and The Clash, Marquee Moon from Television, Lust for Life by Iggy Pop. So we have this tension between the old school of Dixieland jazz and Zydeco, that's the Creole mentioned, versus punk and rock and roll. And those punks and rockers who don't give a damn about any trumpet-playing band of old men.
And a crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner, drunk and dressed in their best brown baggies and their platform soles. And they don't give a damn about any trumpet-playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. And the Sultans, yeah, the Sultans, they play Creole.
So swing was very popular in the 30s and 40s. So if these guys are in their 50s or 60s, they're playing the music from their youth that has been thoroughly rejected by the time the 70s roll around. A tension that's rich territory for a writer to cover. And I mean, of course, We have to talk about the solos. No, I most certainly won't horrify you with my terrible imitation. I saved that for the heavy metal version I did. But Mark Knopfler's guitar work in Sultans of Swing is nothing short of masterful. These aren't flashy over-the-top moments. They're melodic, expressive, and woven into the fabric of the song like a second vocal line. Each phrase feels like it's been sung through the strings, and I bet that if you love this song as much as I do, you not only know every lyric, but you can probably sing every note of every solo he plays. He plays with dynamics, with space, and with an incredible sense of timing. The phrasing is so fluid, it almost feels improvised, but there's intention behind every note. It's a perfect example of how taste and tone can be far more powerful than speed or complexity. And that final solo in particular is one of the most replayed moments in rock history for a reason. It just tells a story of its own.
And then the man, he steps right up to the microphone and says, alas, just as the time bell rings, good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing.
Well, okay, got there in the end. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, please go and check out my documentary on the history. It's over on Nebula, which is a platform I co-own with other creators. It's been a really special project to work on, and having John Illsley, the founding member and bassist of Dire Straits, being a part of it was so special. It was such an honour to meet him. And we even jammed too, which was just mind-blowing. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what other songs you would like me to talk about in future. And well, as always, I'll be seeing you here again very, very soon.